Okay, it's gonna be fun. Alright, we're gonna have to get you printed out. Check all these. So people bought some slides and parts kits last night, so I'm gonna get some of them wrapped and shipped. Alright, so let's go with this one first, because this is probably going to be the easiest. Where's this heading off to? Indiana. Heading off to Indiana. Okay, save as. There we are. Let's go get that packing slip. Okay, that's downloaded. There we go. Indiana. All right. So I really need to go to the store today and get some more printing paper. But this will do for now. In a pinch. It will do. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to talk about some slides. Hey, thanks for the like. And I've got to do some packaging. Somebody ordered some stuff while we all went off to sleep for the night. Sully, what's going on? Getting ready to send some stuff off to Indiana right now. And what we've got here, I probably need some better light. There we are. And so those of you new to us, hey Virgil, we've got the SM19 Turbo, the SM19 Viper, the Zoom, the Hellet, and another Viper. Also checked out that Ghostad Tactical Lube. It smells good. This particular one, the Ecto Lube, smells like green apples. Though it is not edible, so you know, keep it away from your kids and your dog. And we have been testing out the Wolf X Pro from Siley Optics. Oh, that's better. Gonna need some coffee in a minute. Yeah, let's add this one too. Oh yeah, this one here, I believe it's in Cobalt Kinetics Green. Yeah, the Viper is easily our most popular slide. I am 99% sure they will. I haven't tested it myself, but the RXM should be able to take Gen 3 Glock slides. And these are all designed for Gen 3. So far, I haven't seen anyone swap one of our slides on it, but I am 99% sure. You could always get that clone, get that Glonk. Go with a PSA and build your way up, or SCT, Geisler. I'm afraid I don't. We haven't worked on anything for Smith & Wesson yet. Maybe someday in the future. I know the immediate next slide after we finish the 17 series that we're working on, we have a 17 for the Zoom, for the Viper, and now for the Turbo, but we need to make a 17 for the Hellet, and then from there I think we're going to work on 43s. Though the 43 being so much smaller, it's going to be harder to scale down like what these are. So it's going to take a little bit of work. And we might even have to do a whole new design. We'll see. We'll see. The heck? Okay. As I'm doing the shipping, sometimes I get names that I can absolutely not pronounce. But sending the slide off to Indiana, so. And let's see, yesterday we sent stuff off to Puerto Rico. Well, geez, printer, calm down. God. Yeah, so yesterday we sent one of them off to Puerto Rico, Montana. Oh, where else? There was a third one. Oh, no, they bought this yesterday. We're sending it out today. Massachusetts. And now Indiana. You get a wide variety of where people buy the slides from. Though I'd say most often lately is probably California, Texas, Florida, and New York. Wide array of political differences between those states, wouldn't you say? I believe Florida is still going through several gun lawsuits as well. And you've got guys like Flying Rich Firearms and John Crump News who are involved in those. I think DLD After Dark might also be involved in one, if I remember right. I could be misremembering. Oh, yep, and I am sending one to California. Okay, let's get this shipping label ready. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions. I'm just working here at the desk. Okay, we've got those. Let's get these printed out. Oh, the largest amount of people? On views the other day, I had 6,400. And then the amount of people, we were in like the 40s to 70s, somewhere in that range. It was hard to keep track because it was bouncing up and down. But we were on a 4-hour live and we had 6,400 views on it, which is pretty awesome. I know that's small time for a lot of guys, but I'm happy with it. We're just a small business with a little bit of gun content. Go. Let's affix the label. I'm hoping once it cools down, we'll do some more range content. But when you're going to be out there recording and whatnot, it's just too hot. Hey, Kurt24, what's going on? Just getting some slides ready to ship. We've done Puerto Rico, Montana, Massachusetts, Indiana, and now California. Kurt's got a question. Kurt is always free to ask. Oh, that's cool. This guy's house. The numbers for this guy's house are 1776. That's awesome. And for those of you just joining us, we have our SM19 Turbo, Viper, Zoom, Pellet, and Viper again. And printer, god dang. It's starting to act up on me. We also have our Ghost Dad Tactical gun lube in the background, and our Wolf X Pro Siley Optics red dot. Okay, so these will be last because this one's going to be hardest to do. This one should be fairly easy. Let's see. Thank you all for joining us and getting those likes. It's greatly appreciated. Okay, got that open. Right on, Virgil. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, let's see. Can I fit this in here? I can. Maybe. Might have to fold it. Okay, we've got that. The polymer bags are over there. It's not quite enough. I'll have to save that for something else. At least that'll be easy. I think we were talking about the other day. Let's see, is this going to fit? Might need to get new bags. The ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement, is switching from the... Oh, thank you, Kurt. Is switching from the SIG P320 over to the Glock 19. Yep, we have learned a lot of lessons in shipping. Occasionally, when we're selling other stuff, some people have told us we overpackage, but I'd rather overpackage it than, you know, deal with the consequences of USPS. Hey, Sassy, what's going on? Alright, there we go. Where are my scissors? Oh, we are getting some packages ready to ship out. Figured I'd show off some slides while I'm doing it. We've got our SM19 Turbo, Viper, Hellet, Zoom, Hellet, and Viper again. That is a Trijicon RMR flat optic cut, as you can see here. And our optic cut also comes with an RMR cover plate that is made out of aluminum instead of plastic. Okay. Oh, there you are. Alright, this one's for Indiana. And all of our optics, or sorry, all of our slides come with that optic cut. There we go. And we do all of the milling and Cerakote work in-house. And we don't use blanks. We mill from bars of steel. Though I have occasionally entertained the idea of making blanks for other people. Some have said it's a little hard to get a quality 17-4 stainless steel blank for the slide projects they're doing themselves. So who knows, maybe we'll do that someday for some other businesses. And then, without knowing it, at least on the undercarriage, you'll be getting a part Stiffler slide. That happens quite a bit, actually. A lot of things are rebranded or white labeled. So the slide you think you're getting, or, you know, the AR you think you're getting from whatever business is actually made by somebody else. It's incredibly common in the gun and other industries too, not just guns. So it's kind of fun when you see the kind of fan fanaticism. They're like, no, this company's the best, and turns out that company doesn't actually make anything. Ghost survival prepping guns gear. What's going on? Oh yeah, the cow camo? The camu? Yeah. Anderson, yeah. Our slides were white labeled for a while when we first started. So people were getting Stiffler slides, they just didn't know it. It was coming in under other names. And it wasn't ideal for us to get our name out there, but it did get the bills paid. Which, really, that's all we cared about, is we needed enough money to keep the shop open and to keep the employees paid. That's all that really mattered. And we've had people relabel them even after they've been sold. So, you sell some stuff off to a distributor, the distributor sells it off to a vendor, and then the vendor relabels it anyway. Our main distributor right now does not relabel the product. They do call it Stiffler, which is awesome. I think that's where we've started to see some recognition in the last several months. Maybe I should save. Nah, I'd rather get the slides out as fast as possible. I was like, maybe I can save up some slides and not ship them immediately so I can do little packaging and shipping videos, but... Okay. That's a good and loaded question. Okay. So you're going to find that some payment processors and stuff do not like 2A industry. They won't work with you. Wells Fargo works with us so far. Some just do not. It is hard getting lines of credit when you need it, especially because the 2A industry is a little volatile. A lot of the businesses that start up do not last a year, and that's understandable. We almost went out of business the first 6 to 8 months, and it was a real struggle. It is a hard balance between your personal life and your work life. There are still days where we go in and we work 18 hours a day or more. And especially if you have kids, it makes it incredibly difficult. But that's any small business, really. Let's see. Another one is dealing with shipping. So like Kurt24 said that, our shipping or our packaging is good. We do package them well. That took some trial and error. And that's a packaging for individual customers, but also for our distributors. Another thing is the logistics chain for everything that you get. So you being the end guy, you are at fault no matter what. So, for example, when we get bad steel from our steel rep and we go, hey, this isn't good, we got to send it back. Well, now all of a sudden we don't have any steel and we still have a bunch of slides to make. The people you're selling them to don't necessarily care that your steel rep, screwed up. It's your fault that you didn't get them out fast enough. They once sent us a shipment of steel bars that were a little too short, so we couldn't turn them into 19s. So we had to have them all sent back, and yeah, that was a process. Which of course slowed us down for getting everything to our distributor, who was like, hey man, I need these slides because the distributor is trying to sell them off to other vendors, and they're waiting, and they understood. Thankfully they've been fairly understanding, but little issues. If you've never done customer service before, the cut guy screwed up, and then whoever checked the bars didn't check them very well, and they just packaged them. Doing customer service is something you need to learn, and if you can't do it, because not everyone's capable of doing customer service. Dealing with customers can be a very fun experience sometimes, but it can also be a very horrible experience, because some people are horrible customers because they are just horrible people. And they project their horrible persona into being a customer, and there's nothing you can do. You can't make them happy. They're just naturally miserable people, and that makes you have a bad day, because they are going to make you have a bad day because they are a miserable, insufferable human being. But they are spending money, and sometimes you have to make that decision: is dealing with this person worth the money? And sometimes it's not. Sometimes we have told people, we don't want your business, because they are just too difficult to deal with. And it's like, you know what, go to somebody else. But at the same time, you also still need to make sure you're making enough money to pay the bills, pay your employees. It's a weird balance. Hey, Matt to Hope. Yeah, we do make these slides. Yep, we take bars of steel like this, 17.4 stainless, and we mill it down into those slides. We clean them, sand them, and do the Cerakote work. One thing to learn about, though, Baba Booey, is that when you get your LLC set up, or however you're going to organize your business, is that you can start getting things at dealer rate. So instead of, like, let's say you're buying shipping materials or packaging materials for your products, you don't necessarily have to go down to, like, Office Max and buy it from them, right? You can go and find contacts for wholesale shipping that's going to save you money. Like, we can go get things at dealer rates because we are now a business, and then that's kind of how you make a little bit of your profit. So that's really going to help, even when you're buying things like freaking pens and packaging labels and all kinds of crap like that. Uh, the little bit that saves you money is helpful, and document everything. Just about everything you spend money on as a business, you can claim towards your taxes at the end of the year or quarterly. Even if you have like a primary business vehicle, track your mileage, track your gas receipts, and things like that. There's all kinds of little things that are going to help you save money or help you with your taxes. Let's see. Sometimes the sale just isn't worth it. Absolutely. And we've had that a few times where it's just like, you know what? You are so insufferable to deal with. The $200 you were going to spend is not worth my sanity. Thank you all for joining in and liking. I appreciate it. Beardy. Yes, no. So we haven't made anything for Smith & Wesson. We might do something in the future, but right now we only make things for the Generation 3 Glock 19 and Glock 17, with plans to work on the 43 hopefully before the year's up. Cole the Shooter. So far I like it. The Wolf X Pro here. Sidely Optics sent us this to test it out, and so far we've only taken it to an indoor range, and it works just fine. I was able to just walk the optic right up the target, hit center mass, hit headshots, no problem. But what we really need to do is take it out to the desert when it cools down a bit and start doing some stress testing. Throw it onto some rocks, maybe hit it with a mallet, do some chest height drop tests. Yeah, let's move this out of the way real quick. GX4, that's a Taurus, right? No, I'm afraid we don't. Right now it's just the Gen 3 Glock 19 and Glock 17. We've been in business for about 2.5 years now, so we are just onto the 2 slides, and we're slowly working on our 3rd. I've got 4 models of the 19 and 3 models of the 17 that we're working on, or that we currently manufacture. What I've learned working auto parts stores, the big spenders aren't going to be mouthy. It's always the ones coming for a tube of grease that have a... Yes, it's... So someone who's looking to buy 12 slides from us, or 50 slides, or in case of one of our distributors, they buy anywhere from 100 to 400 slides a week. It depends on what they're looking for. They are always very polite. All the people doing large orders, they're always very polite. They're always very understanding for the most part. Because they got to make a profit too. So when there's delays, everybody gets a little stressed out. Hey, right on, Jesse, Tucson. Oh, cool, the shooter. That's good to know. So he's saying that he had one, a Siley Optics, on his Gen 3 Glock 23, and that the red dot stopped displaying, and Siley sent him a replacement. There is a theory that customers, the Karen type that you get, where everything needs to be a deal, and you have to kiss their ass like them spending $5 makes them king. That they have very little control in their life, and so they project that onto others as a means of control. It's kind of sad, and they probably need therapy, but that's what it is. Another issue is ego that you're going to deal with some people. They could not possibly ever be wrong. Nothing they did was wrong. So for those of you familiar with Glock and who've done builds yourself, we had a customer install the EDP rod in backwards. Contacted us, said our slide was trash and that it was clearly our fault. Well, we of course took the slide back because we didn't know that that's what he did. And we did some troubleshooting, uninstalled the upper parts kit, reinstalled it, took it to the range, shot it, and we're sitting here like, this works great. Threw it on a polymer 80 frame, threw it on a PSA, threw it on an SCT, and threw it on an OEM, and just done, hitting that target. And we're like, what that? But, of course, when uninstalling, we found out, oh, you put the EDP in backwards. Like, I mean, I've never seen anyone do that, but I guess stuff happens. Another very common one, and we still get emails about this, is, let's see if I can get this to show in the camera. So when you're installing an optic, and this usually happens to people who are very new to optics, for the right hole there, you should be able to see down it a bit. Okay, so on the top here you can see those screws. Those are just the plate cover screws. When you get an optic, there are going to be screws for the optic. Now, the longer screw goes on the left side. The shorter screw goes on the right side. And the reason being is the right screw, if it's too long, is going to go down into that hole and mess with your EDP. So for people who are new to optics, they're not aware of that. And when they crank their optic down and they're having cycling issues or any other issues, they're just like, well, hey, it must be the slide. Everything else has worked before. It's got to be the slide. And it's like, no, you're just new to optics and you didn't know. It's an incredibly common issue. I was like, take the optic off and then test the slide at the range. And they did. They're like, oh, yeah, it works, perfectly. And then they put it back on and they're having the same issue. And I'm like, okay, swap the screws. Put the long screw on the left side. And what it is, and whatever business you end up doing, you're going to get people who know what they're doing, who are experienced in the field that you're selling stuff in. And those are going to be your customers you don't have any problems with. But you're also going to get customers who are very new to what you're doing. Damn right, it's a nice name. Everybody wants a piece of the Stiffmeister. So you're going to get customers that are very new to it. They're still learning. They don't know what's going on. They're very unknowledgeable. And it's a balance between, holding your ground on your own issues and what your responsibilities as a business are, but also while trying to guide this person. You know, because as a business that sells 2A related items to people who are also going to the range and doing 2A related stuff, there is some sort of duty of custodianship, of stewardship to the Second Amendment, to the Constitution, where, hey, maybe this person never had an instructor or a parent in their life that taught them about gun stuff. And we don't proclaim to know everything. You know, we do not know everything about guns. We're always still learning stuff ourselves. So there's a balance between holding their hand through the entire process and just setting them on their right path. And we did that a little early on, you know, because really trying to help get good reviews and really trying to build that customer service relationship where we kind of overdid it, where we should have just cut people loose and said, okay, man, you got to figure some of this out yourself, because we're a little busy doing machining and helping other people, and we can't keep taking your phone calls 5 times a day for 2 weeks. But on the opposite side of that, which we've seen with other businesses, which I'm not going to name because, you know, that's their own issues to deal with, but where they started getting questions from customers, and because they had no customer service experience, that they immediately just started blocking people. They started calling people out on social media. They just, like, instead of dealing with the situation and trying to help the customer, just immediately, like, all right, return it and get a refund if you don't like it. Like, clearly, and they'd go off on the person. Like, clearly you're too stupid to do anything with guns. And it's like, no, you don't do that. So, if you can't, like I was saying earlier, if you can't do customer service, if you can't engage with the person, find someone who can for your business. It's okay to only be technically oriented and organizationally oriented, and you are not dealing with customers because you don't know how, or you can't, or it frustrates you. Find an employee who can do it for you. Because not everybody's good at that stuff. Some people are so patient and empathetic and they can deal with it, and some people are absolutely not. It's just not part of who they are. Find somebody who can do it for you. Do we have anything for the SIG P365? Not yet. We have a 365 that we are kind of working on, doing some measurements and testing, and we may, after we finish the 43, we may make a 365. I'm not 100% on that yet, though. Friendly neighborhood gun guy, thank you so much. Hyper, the prices range depending on if you're getting a stripped slide, a complete slide, what model it is, and then what Cerakote style. So, like, for example, a stencil slide is going to cost more than just a flat slide, you know, like single color slide. But let's see, price range is going to go from 145 to about 280. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 145. So, like, for this helmet here, sorry, this zoom without stencils is 145. This helmet is 155. The Viper's 175. 17 Vipers, like this one back here, are 190. Yes, we do. StifflerManufacturing.com. We might do one for the 40 caliber someday. We also kind of want to do something for the 10 millimeter and the 45 someday. Probably start off streets with just an OEM Glock 45, or sorry, Glock 43, Glock 45, Jesus. Yeah, started out with an OEM Glock 43X, and then for anything like modding, After she gets used to the platform, then she can do stuff like that. But always, get your fundamentals first. Get used to shooting with the original platform, and then later on, start going into adding different slides and optics and other stuff. Build the foundation first. No, we don't do custom cuts on slides yet, and it's not that we can't. It's just that we would have to cut production to do it. So, for example, if I'm doing a production run of, say, 36 slides, and then we get a custom slide come in, I'd have to shut down a machine that's making those slides, and then instead of making 36 slides, I'm doing custom, so I'd have to charge the customer a stupidly high fee to kind of make up for that, and it's just not worth it for us or the customer. So someday we might get a standalone machine just for custom work. But we don't have one yet. Hey, thank you, Kurt. We are going to call it probably the SM365, but we are working on a SIG 365 at some point. With the X, she should be a little better than just the regular 43. At least I prefer the 43X and feeling it. It just feels a little better in the hand. Right on. Greatly appreciated, Jess. Okay, I might have to... Yeah, we're going to have to fold this. Dang. Oh, well. Stupid packaging. Oh, yeah, we might do a 40 caliber someday. I can't say when, because right now our next plan is the Glock 43. But we would like to do a 40 cal, a 45, and probably a 10 millimeter. And I'm also just packaging up some stuff for sale in the background here. So all that wrapping sound is. I forget who was asking earlier. Was it Baba Booey, maybe? Another thing is, it is incredibly hard to do everything yourself. So, if you have some friends and family that can just step in and help you with little things, it'll really relieve a lot of stress. And make sure they understand that, you might not be able to compensate them immediately, but that you are going to take care of them. There we go. One slide packaged up for Indiana. Oh, thank you so much, Street. We occasionally do sales once in a while. We usually announce them like a week before we do it, but I think our prices are pretty fair overall. Andre, yeah, they are for Glock, specifically the Generation 3 19 and 17. We don't have a 43 yet, but we are working on one. Oh, right on. Thank you, Raymond. The white is Arctic White Cerakote. It's an F series, if I remember right. And you can find it on our website, or you can also check out the Cerakote website for I want to say it's F125. Yep, F125. The machining part or the Cerakote part, both are different things. The machining part, just start looking into what computer-assisted design is, CAD. And that'll help you with things like 3D printing and CNC. As for the Cerakote, you can learn a lot of it just through YouTube and buying all the gear you need from the Cerakote website. And if you're doing small production, go on to like Craigslist and find somebody with an old oven they're getting rid of, and you can actually use that oven to cure your Cerakote, cook your Cerakote. Just never eat food out of that oven ever again, ever. We are hoping before the year's end. We are currently working on, or about to work on, our 4th version of the 17, which will be a 17 version of this slide here. And then after that, we are going to go on to the 43. Oh yeah, the Liberty's fun. We make those around for 4th of July, but we started keeping them for the whole year because some people just order them throughout the year. We have complete slides and strip slides. So our strip slides come with absolutely nothing except for the RMR cover plate. And then the complete slides come with an ELD Performance barrel, an SCT Manufacturing upper parts kit, and Glock OEM sights. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, Luke, what's going on? Yep, and all the barrels are ELD Performance 416R stainless steel. Oh, how do I want to package this next one? This is a weird package. Oh, like a completed slide with ported barrel? Yeah, we plan to. No, we've only recently just got it ported barrels in and threaded barrels as well. Most of the completes we're currently offering are with the Viper and the Zoom. Or sorry, the Viper and the Turbo. We also have a couple Zooms. But the price difference is, so let's take a look at this. So let's see, a complete Viper here is $250, whereas a regular Viper runs in at $175. So that's about the difference. Hey, White Rambo, what's going on? And I just realized I gotta do this one. That's okay. This one's easy to replace. Also, those for, I don't know if Baba Booey's still here, but know your worth. So if you've got a good product, you're always going to get people trying to get a super good deal. And don't be wrong, have sales and stuff, you know, give people an option to buy stuff cheaper. But know what your product's worth, man. Oh man, the amount of times I've had people tell me, well, I can just make that too. And I'm like, cool, go ahead. I mean, I doubt you spent the, 300 grand initial start to start up a machine shop. I doubt you've got a CNC machine just lying around, or the bars of steel, or the carbide end mills, and so on and so on. So far I like it, but I've only done indoor range tests with it. I want to take it out to the desert and mess it up a little bit. Okay, now the question is, can I save this one? Nope. Gone it is. That's okay. Get up and make some coffee. Oh, thank you, White Rambo. So much appreciated. Actually, let's do a refresh. What am I at right now? Okay. Oh my goodness, 499 subs. That is so cool. Thank you, guys. Hey, Shaker 1000, thanks for the sub. Freaking sweet. Well, now I have to stay on. I got to get that 500. Now I'm going to be on for a little bit. See, the customers ordered slides on late on a Saturday and Sunday. So the post office isn't going to ship them. I can drop them off. I can scan them in and drop them off. But I'm just not in a hurry to get over to the post office. I used to hurry a lot when we were doing this early on. It's like, oh my god, I sold something. Let's rush to get it to the post office. Let's get it scanned in, and then we'll email the customer, and then you get home, and then, oh no, another one sold. Let me rush back to the post office. And very new, very unneeded. I didn't need to do that. As long as I get out in reasonable time. And then, you know, you learn when the post office starts doing their shipments. Like, yesterday, someone ordered something at 3 p.m. The post office does their final shipment, or their final collection, at 4:15. So I knew as long as I got there by 4, good to go. So you just start learning, you know, when the final pickups for things are. Also, if you start doing your own business stuff and you have the option to print your own shipping labels and scan stuff in, scan it in, and sometimes if there's no big line, instead of dropping it in the drop box, hand it off to the employee. Hey, Jason Ewing. White Rambo. 500 subs. Hell yeah. I really should have been doing lives a lot, you know, just... I should have started doing them a long time ago. All we initially posted a lot was just, you know, videos about the slides. You know, the machine running, doing some Cerakote, just showing off the slides. But this way, it's, you know, I can get to answer questions for people a lot better. So, it's pretty cool. It really does show up like an orange, doesn't it? This is actually habanero red. I mean, it's not red when I'm looking at it, but on the camera, you know. Desk pop. I should do more with Rumble, too. YouTube is incredibly easy, and they haven't suspended me yet. Okay, I'm going to have to make sure to get some more of these. What's the size of this one? It is... Don't tell me centimeters. Just show me in freedom units. .5 by 11. Okay. Alright, let's reprint this one. Okay. Oh, and for anyone doing a new business through eBay, be aware that they are going to take 13.6% of your sales. At least. We use a Haas CNC machine. Getting into it it's a hard question to answer. Because, I mean, like, you can go buy a tabletop CNC machine, and so long as, you know, you've bolted it down correctly, it's stabilized, you could work on steel. you're gonna have to have the money to start. You can reach out to CNC companies like Haas and others, and get on payment plans to get yourself a machine. And then, of course, though, it's not just about buying the machine. You have to know how to program. So you got to learn CAD. You got to learn how to draw. And you're going to need, OEM models to base off of. So you're going to have to do measurements. And then there's a little bit of trial and error. You got to make sure your program's good. You're not wasting a bunch of time doing pointless stuff. And then there's the tools. The tools are going to break. Yep, tooling's incredibly expensive. I can tell you there are times you put a tool in and you're like, okay, the tool life here is like 100 runs, and it breaks on 10, and you cry a little inside. Hey, K exclusive. Yes, they are for Glocks, specifically the Gen 3 Glock 19 and 17. So, I mean, if you start with a little tabletop CNC, you might have less cost, but you're also going to have production problems. Like, okay, so if you do a tabletop, instead of making like what we're doing, a few hundred a week, maybe you do a dozen, maybe. But it'll get you started. But then, if somebody likes your product and they reach out to you and they're like, hey, can you make 100 of these? And you're like, no. And there's, of course, how do you sell to people, right? So our website, the slides are actually cheaper on the website. Majority of our customers still go to eBay. And the reason they're a little more expensive on eBay is eBay charges us at least 13.6% to do the listings. Our website charges us 4% per transaction, and sometimes fees. But you get a cheaper product on the website, and there's also discount codes occasionally. So if you're an eBay shopper and there's like somebody you like shopping from, do a Google search and see if they have a website. And we're just doing some shipping in the background. Thank you, Kurt. That's another one, is finding good shipping materials. So some people have criticized like how we shipped it. Some people absolutely love how we ship. But a good thing is polymer bags, especially if you are, shipping to or from areas where they get a lot of rain. Just keeps moisture out of the bag. And it doesn't add any weight, and it doesn't add any dimension. It's just a polymer bag. So whatever your other material is that you package something in, polymer bag. Keeps moisture out, looks good. And while the USPS may not always listen, yeah, man, fragile stickers. All day, every day with the fragile stickers. Hey, Virgil's back. What you got? Not offhand. They might have said something previously. Should I? Oh, another good one to remember if you are doing some CNC stuff, find a place that will take your chips for recycling, and if they'll pay you for them. I mean, you're not going to get a lot of money out of it, but a little bit helps, especially when you're newly starting. Oh, yeah, not a sponsor disappeared, didn't he? Yeah, I didn't know what happened to him. He used to be on everybody's stuff. Oh, we're gonna start some coffee today. Amazing how much that went from here. We'll be right back in just a second. Okay. Now this is getting weird. I have now made 3 shipments, or rather, packaged up 3 for Indiana. Hey, Brookside, what's going on? Man, I had like 60-something people in here earlier. Just dropped off. Good conversations, though. This is good live. Got my 500. I don't know. Possibly. I just know he disappeared. Don't know what happened. Probably angered the YouTube gods. Oh. Whew, that hurts. I smell coffee. Not a sponsor going dark. Oh, what I'm really, and this is just like an extra expense, but we are hoping to get patches and poker chips and stuff again, so I can start sending them out with slides. But there's a small backlog of people who I want to get some patches and chips and stuff to. We gave out what we had left at SHOT Show, and just we weren't able to get the same deal previously, so we started hunting around. Might have found shop in Arizona, local. But then we also got to spend the money on it too. Which is like a fun thing, you know. It's like, oh, cool. Let's get all these stickers and patches and shirts, merchandise, or let's pay the employees. Morning coffee. About time. Oh, that's unfortunate. I am now at the age where I am starting to lose people. So, there's that, what is that saying? You know, you go into life and you think, I don't have to deal with that because someday, you know, I'm just going to die. And sometimes you just don't die. You deploy overseas and you're like, yeah, it's okay, maybe I just die. I don't have to worry about this jacked up body or a lot of the issues, and sometimes you just don't. And you get to watch everyone else. Got all dark and sad on you there, didn't I? That's okay. A lot of vets are dark and sad. There we go. Get this one packaged up. Man, Indiana is really wanting some gun parts lately. I can't package them all the orders that we got, because the rest of that stuff's at the shop, but I do have some stuff just at the house. So when people make an order, sometimes I can get stuff out pretty quick and just tell them at the shop, hey, I got it. Here's the tracking number. Here's the information. We're good to go. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Oh, what's going on with Carson now? I know we had that one incident over with Utah Dad. I don't fully know everything going on with that, but it's some drama I try to stay out of. That said, if you need help, you know, fucking go get it. There is someone out there that is pissed off that you're alive right now, and that should keep you a little warm at night. At one point, I would say that there was a third of the planet that was pissed off at me, not necessarily me personally, but the concept of me because of my profession. And that makes me smile. I mean, come on. Have some enemies in the world. I mean, here you all are, watching a 2A channel, which means you have enemies. Doesn't that sound kind of cool? You have done something to warrant other people not liking you. You have enemies. Food for thought. Wear it like armor. Okay, there we go. All right, so 1 off to Massachusetts, 3 off to Indiana. Good job, Indiana. 2A is the way. Okay, so do I have a burnt bronze with me? Yeah, I do. Okay, so one of our old models that we are on hiatus with, but here's that burnt bronze. Let me see if I can show this. So you can see that kind of metallic flake that's going on with the burnt bronze. Kind of, if it focuses right. So the desert sand is much lighter. Think of the burnt bronze like a type of flat dark earth with metallic flake in it. And the desert sand's more lighter. Did get some good checks. You can actually find all those colors on the Cerakote website, so you can try and do, you know, like a color check for whatever build you're trying to do as well. Oh, nice. Man, I haven't seen anything motocross related in a while. To be honest, I don't watch many sporting events or anything much anymore either. Hey, have a good one, Virgil. Thick slick. Yeah, we should, and you know, thankfully we can ship to all 50 states as well as most of the territories. I think the only restriction we have right now is American Samoa, which we've never even sold anything to. So, like, if you look at, you can actually check that out on our website, on our warranty and returns, where we have. That was fun to write up. I'll tell you that. That was fun, with all the sarcasm in the world. But it was absolutely necessary. We were starting to get some really weird return requests. Like somebody who bought something like 8 months ago, and it's like, dude, what the hell? And you beat the crap out of it. Like, no, we're not taking your return. Oh, yeah, here it is. Shipping restrictions. Stiffler Manufacturing only sells within the United States of America and the U.S. territories and will refuse any attempt to purchase our products outside of the United States. Stiffler Manufacturing reserves the right to restrict shipping and sales to any region at any time for any reason. Stiffler Manufacturing no longer ships to American Samoa, U.S. territory. Not that we've sold anything to American Samoa, but they have a serious hate for the Second Amendment there. Their premise is basically that as an American territory and not as a state, that their citizens there do not have a right to the Constitution. Therefore, they do not have a right to the Second Amendment. And we're just not going to open up, future issues by trying to ship stuff to them. I mean, the 9mm is not even legal there, if I remember right. So, since that's what we make products for, kind of pointless. Oh, welcome everybody. Yeah, let me look that up again, because it's been a minute since we updated that. It looks like, and you can own these with a license, shotguns in 12 gauge, 16 gauge, 20 gauge, or 410. Rifles chambered in 22 caliber only. All handguns have been prohibited since 1991. And grandfathered in, no new handgun licenses are issued. Quote unquote, and I hate this term, high-power firearms such as center-fire rifles and shotguns outside of previously listed gauges. All NFA weapons are illegal. Pop out, rock out, what's going on? You may apply for a license to get a shotgun or 22 caliber rifle, and you must be 21, and you must provide clear justifications such as farming or hunting. Self-defense is not an accepted reason to have a firearm. Open carry of licensed long guns is permitted, but concealed carry is illegal. I'd like to see the Constitution enforced on all of our territories. They might not be a state, and so they do not have certain rights, like, for example, voting for the president. But they should have constitutional protections as a territory of the United States. Which means the Second Amendment. Oh man, could you imagine like some kind of future World War III type stuff, and American Samoa gets bull rushed by some other nation's navy, and all they can do is fight back with licensed 22 caliber rifles? I mean, at least the shotguns could do something, but... I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want to get shot with a 22, but it's not going to breach body armor. It's not going to breach IOTVs or equivalent. Let's see, what guns are legal in the Virgin Islands? I don't think I've sold anything to the Virgin Islands yet, but... we might have. I know we have sold and shipped to every single state. And I know for sure we shipped to Puerto Rico and Guam. Long guns, rifles and shotguns, as well as handguns, are legal in the Virgin Islands, but you need a permit. To include semi-automatic rifles, shotguns, and pistols are also all permitted. Short-barreled rifles and shotguns are not permitted, as well as anything NFA, and anything 50 cal or higher. Open carry is prohibited in the Virgin Islands. So, concealed carry is allowed under a shall issue permit post the Bruin decision. Permits, however, are difficult to obtain. And there are multiple different permit types: business use, home defense, farming, and sport shooting. That's very interesting. So yeah, we can still send to the Virgin Islands. Though it sounds like they can only keep their build in their home. And I know we're good with Guam and we're good with Puerto Rico. So that's the Virgin Islands. That's American Samoa. Who am I forgetting? The Northern Mariana Islands. Actually, while I got everyone in here, if you weren't aware, Puerto Rico is an American territory. Puerto Ricans are Americans, and they have been since 1898. Suck it, Spain. I come across a lot of people who are not aware of Puerto Rico. Actually, in 2020, they voted yes on statehood by over 52%, but they don't get a say in that. Congress has to act on it. Let's see. Northern Mariana Islands, long guns and handguns are allowed, but you need to have a FOID card. And you need a permit and license to buy ammunition. That sucks. There were registration requirements, but they were ruled unconstitutional in 2016 in Murphy v. De Leon Guerrero. And their assault weapons ban was also struck down in 2016. Heck yeah. They do have a magazine limit of no more than 10 rounds with rifles, shotguns, and handguns. No exceptions, even for tube-fed shotguns. Concealed carry is completely banned, and they will not issue permits. Open carry is allowed for lawfully licensed individuals. They tried to do a $1,000 excise tax on pistols in 2016, but it was ruled unconstitutional. But their Safe Storage Act did pass, so firearms must be stored safely in a safe. Thank you very much, Thick Slick. Which one did you get? The Viper, the Turbo, the Zoom, or the Hellet? You have a Glock 45 with the MOS cut. You're going to need an MOS cut optic, otherwise you're going to need an adapter plate. But cool news is that you can fit one of these slides here, which are Generation 3 Glock 19, on your 45. You just need to swap out the back plate as well as the slide stop release. And there's some videos on it. You can check out RTT Guns and Gear. He has a video on swapping out slides on frames. Welcome back, Virgil. A turbo complete? Heck yeah. So this is our turbo right here. This one's in graphite black. And if you need an optic for it, you know, take a look at Gideon Optics. I'm still testing out the Siley, but so far I like it. And this gun lube, I haven't tested it yet, but it does smell good. It smells like green apples. You know, you might be able to get an adapter plate through Gideon Optics. I know they had a couple on their website. I just don't remember if they had an MOS one. That might be something to do down the road, too. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but what metal are the MOS plates made out of? Someone said they were made out of aluminum. A Viper G19 sight plate? What do you mean? The cover plate? Like this cover plate? Yeah, license to buy ammo is complete and total BS. We don't have any listed, but you know what, John Doe? Reach out to us at sales@stifflermanufacturing.com. And depending on what my procurement and shipping and QC manager says, we might be able to just sell you one. We don't have any listed on our website, but that's, you know, honestly, maybe we should. We kind of talked about it before. Of course, that involves us ordering extra RMR cover plates, because right now they're all just for the slides, but... Yeah, so, you know, if you guys ever have any questions about wanting to buy something or whatever, yeah, feel free to reach out to us at sales@stifflermanufacturing.com. Drop us an email or, you know, hit us a message on Facebook or Instagram. Speaking of which, I still have to answer some questions, but I haven't gotten info yet. Yep, got to answer a question from Ghost. I got to answer a question from Poppy the Gun Guy. Yeah, I guess just depends on numbers, because we order those things like 5,000 at a time. So if people start buying them, we'll just have to figure out, you know, how much more we're going to have to get. They're good, though. You know, they're not plastic. They're not cheap. Not cheap junk. They're aluminum. Black nitride coating. We actually, funny enough, we had a guy return a slide to one of our distributors. So we sell our slides off to a distributor, and then they sell them off to gun shops and vendors and individuals. And a guy bought the slide, messed it up, returned it. He tried doing like his own custom work to it, and he did not do a good job. So he returned it, but he kept the RMR cover plate and swapped it for a plastic one. And so the distributor reaches out to us about possibly doing a return and a swap for the slide. And we're like, first of all, what the hell did he do to it? Why did you accept that return? Because it's all jacked up, right? Like, he did a horrible job. Looks like he was trying to do some sanding and like doing a paint job. And it was awful. And I'm like, and by the way, that's not our RMR cover plate. We don't deal in plastic cover plates. We chose aluminum for a reason. So I was like, why did you even accept this return? And they're like, I don't know. And I think he's long gone. Baba Booey, when he was in here earlier asking about business questions. But that's another thing to know, is to know when to stand your ground to a crazy customer. Like, just because they spent money does not mean you have to kiss their ass. So... you know, take care of your customers. Always be polite and respectful. But, you know, they don't own you. So if they're being crazy and unrealistic, you don't have to do what they want you to do. Gonzo, what's going on? Man, am I not subbed? I'm subbing to Gonzo. Get Gonzo to 50 so he can do lives. Oh, excuse me. You can find him at Gonzo Gun, Gunn. Bro rocking the Puerto Rican flag. We were just talking about Puerto Rico. Way too many people out there don't know Puerto Ricans are Americans. It's kind of disappointing. Man, I'm going to jack your name up so hard, but Gali? Galilu, yeah, I'm just going to go with Gali. I'm from Arizona in the United States. I actually just had a shipping issue with Puerto Rico through eBay a day or two ago. And eBay kept listing them as international. And so we had to walk them through, like, make sure you're listing the state as PR. Otherwise, it causes shipping issues with USPS. Which is just bullcrap. Puerto Rico should be just listed there, but they're not a state, so it creates problems. BS shipping problems. Rainbow Shades. What's up, Zanty? Ooh, my neck. Oh, that's another cool thing. You don't need a passport. Well, I guess you need a real ID for that whole travel BS. But you don't need a passport to go to Puerto Rico. Or the U.S. Virgin Islands. Or Guam. Or American Samoa. Or the Northern Mariana Islands. They're American territories. You can go there. Though American Samoa hates guns, so... you know. If you didn't know, Puerto Rico produces a lot of America's rum. Also, because of all like the hurricanes and stuff, their National Guard is almost like on perpetual orders. Thank you all for dropping in, liking, and subbing. It's greatly appreciated. We are at Stiffler Manufacturing. Mill bars of 17-4 stainless steel like this here. And turn them into slides like our Generation 3 SM19 Turbo, Viper, Zoom, Hellet, and other Viper. As well as this 17 back here too. We do 19s and 17s. Okay, sorry about that. We got a phone call for a minute, so sorry I went dark. I'll probably have to end sometime soon. Go take care of this. Uh, we'll be making. I'll have to make a couple phone calls, but I'll keep this live as long as I can here. So feel free to keep asking your questions, and I will try and get them answered. I'm gonna go make this phone call real quick. Well, actually, let's do a text first, see if we can get a hold of this guy. I prefer to do a text, but we'll see what happens. You can't always get what you want. 52. Oh, almost hit his phone number. Don't do that. Okay. The Wolf X Pro, I've only tested it at an indoor range, so I'm not sure how I feel about it outside yet. Okay. Man, I'd love to visit Puerto Rico. Let's see. Mountain Armory, what's going on? Nah, I got a call I have to go deal with, potentially. Okay, I'm going to mute myself real quick to do this call, and hopefully I don't have to go nowhere. Okay, I might not have to go nowhere. We'll see. I'm waiting on a phone call. Upside is I'm still getting paid for this. That's a good thing to go into as well. So for a lot of you who might start your own business, you might end up having a secondary job while your business is starting and making money. We all do. So sometimes sales are slow, especially during the summer. So we do side work. Go work on houses, do construction, carpentry, minor electrical. Private security work. We got an employee who works at one of the mines, digging up ore and stuff. And then we go back to the shop and we mill out slides. Hey, rough shift. Our Glock 19 Gen 3 slides will fit on the 45, but we haven't made one yet. You have a lever action 357 Magnum rifle with a Picatinny rail, and what red dot would you recommend? Huh. That's a good question. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. I don't usually use red dots on rifles. And most of the red dots, to be honest, that I have experience with are Gideon Optics, HoloSun, Wolf X Pro with the Siley optics, and then anything I used in the military, so like CCOs and ACOGs. You got to, Brookside. You got to. You don't always, you know, I'm not selling 10 slides a day every day to individual customers. The distributors and vendors, they keep the bills paid. Yeah, they keep us in business. But for individual money, I need more individual buyers. What do you think, chat? You got any recommendations for Tarkov Tom here? It's a little bit out of my scope at the moment. I do have a Nikon on my 30-06, but I mean that's more of a long-range deer hunting rifle, you know? Smokey, definitely get yourself involved in social media at some capacity. So I'll show you a link of kind of what we have everything going on with. And a lot of, like, what I'm doing right now is just talking to potential customers, talking to people who like talking about guns, and it's basically free advertising for you. So that will definitely help. The definite downside, of course, we're doing the same thing, side business as well as our machining, is just trying to balance the two. You're also going to want to start reaching out to, you know, you're doing gunsmithing, so you're going to want to reach out to like ranges and see if they'll let you post up like, hey, offering gunsmithing services, or any local gun shops that already don't do their own service. See if they let you post up any kind of, you know, brochures and flyers in their store. And then see if you can do any gunsmithing that doesn't show, you know, the customer's information. So like obviously not with their serial number. So you can do videos and content of showing, hey, what you can do and how well you do it. If there's any content you can do that shows before and after work, to just show that you know what you're doing, you're capable. That's correct, Tarkov Tom. We can only ship within the United States and its territories. We don't have any 43 slides. We plan to make one, but it's going to be with a Trijicon RMR flat optic cut, not MOS. As to where you can get one, any FFL, you might be able to find it like Sportsman's Warehouse or something like that. Price range though, they're probably what, $450 or more. Probably more towards the 500 range, or if not higher. Depends on the area you're in, I suppose. Yeah, try YouTube and potentially Rumble. Yeah, sorry, we're not working on any 43s yet. We hope to have some by year's end, but we'll see. Hey, Patriot Arms, what's going on? Not in a while, Brookside. Used to go out into the desert and hunt jackrabbit, dove, coyote. Not a whole lot of hunting in Arizona. There is some fishing. I used to do a little bit of fishing. I mean, if you're up in northern Arizona, yeah, there's more hunting. You can also hunt javelina down here. Quail. The deer's kind of skinny compared to back east. But I mean, we do have, mule deer and white-tailed deer, and there's elk and antelope and black bear. Oh yeah, we got javelina. Sometimes they wander neighborhoods, just looking for food or whatever. But you'll find them pretty often. Well, not always often, but you'll find them out in the desert areas, along with coyote. They can get a little territorial and aggressive, though. They'll come after you and bite you. Yeah, pretty much. I guess they're also known as like peccaries, but kind of like a kind of like a pig. But yeah, they're kind of all over. I mean, a lot of them in South America, all the way up through Mexico and Southwest U.S. And I think they even have some on the East Coast too. Yeah, those little buggers get around. The lube, I have not used it on one of our guns yet, but I can tell you it does smell good. It smells like green apple. So keep it away from your animals and your kids. It's made by Ghost Dad Tactical. That bottle there was 21. He has other bottles that are 15. I'm not getting this call back, am I? So I might actually have to get ready. And I'm happy to get paid. I'm on overtime. It's always when I'm in the middle of doing something. Let's see, how many minutes has it been since that last call? We called him at 8:24. Okay, yeah, we'll give him a call back in just a second, just to make sure. 0818. Departure. Let's get that address listed in. How far am I even traveling? Oh, sweet Christ. Oh yeah, the lightning stencil slice. It's a Glock 19. Okay, sorry about that muting. I had to make another phone call. I got to make one more, so definitely keep feeling free to ask questions and comment. I'll get to them as soon as I'm done with these phone calls. Getting into that side work, you know, you got to make some extra money on the weekends sometimes. And for anyone doing, you know, starting up your small business, you're still probably not going to be able to fully quit your other job. Oh, you're a peach, aren't you? Sorry, Gonzo. Thank you. I had to take care of that call. But yeah, man, this lightning stencil, and this comes from the stencil work anyway, comes from Tactical Penguin. And so we get our stencils through them. Oh, hey, look, it's 8. We were at 60 earlier, but I had to take some phone calls. There we are. And we do some things like camo, like, you know, we've got our woodland camo, our OD camo. Doing something new with like a forest green as well, and then the winter camo that we do along with the cow camos. All those stencils come in through Tactical Penguin. Okay, and that would be the check-in at 0815. There we go. Thank you all for the likes and subs. You got us over 500. That's pretty awesome. $508. That is so cool. Might have to do a giveaway when we hit 1,000. I don't know. What slide do you think we should do a giveaway on, guys? Got the Turbo, the Viper, the Zoom, the Hellet, another Viper. Let's go check his out real quick. What, a playlist with no followers? No. Oh, thank you all for joining us. I don't know, maybe we'll do a Viper. That seems to be our most popular, but... what color? Maybe do something in FX series? For those of you not familiar with FX series, it's kind of like Gun Candy that Cerakote's doing. It's got that metallic kind of flake to it. Actually, let me pull up some FX series Cerakote. We have this one here, the Mystique. Let's see, do they have anything on it? They do. All right. So this one here, we do make some slides in Mystique Cerakote. It's their new FX line. We also make them in Typhoon Cerakote, and we might do some in Liberty at some point. We're getting requests from DLD After Dark to do some in Liberty, so we might do that. Viper on Burnt Bronze for those 1,000 subs. What do y'all think? When we hit 1,000 subs, which slide should we give out? What color? Patriot Arms thinks SM-19 Viper in Burnt Bronze. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we really probably should have started doing lives way earlier. But really, it was more focusing on the business at the time. Ooh, let's hope this is a customer call. Mute you guys real quick. I'll be right back after I answer this call. Feel free to ask any questions about any of the slides we got here, or what giveaway we should do when we hit 1,000 subs. Okay, that was super easy, and we just had someone asking some questions, and he's picking up 3 slides. That is awesome. Can we make one for the 365? We are actually working on one. So right now we have the Gen 3 19, the Gen 3 17, and after we finish our 4th 17 model, which will be the Hellet, we are going to go work on the Glock 43, and then from there we kind of got to make a decision. Do we do the 20? Okay, let's see if that reconnect helped out. Looks like everything's fine on my end. How are you guys doing? Oh, okay, right, yeah, so the 43 and the 365. Okay, so we are currently working on our 4th version of the SM17. This will be the Hellet in a 17. Once we finish that, we're going to go start working on the Glock 43. And we do have a P365 in the shop that we might be doing some measurements and testing with. The big push is going to be if our distributor wants it. So right now we're making a few hundred slides a week for our distributor on 19s and 17s. And we're going to try and pitch them a 365. And if they want it, then yeah, we'll start producing it. But we also want to look at the Glock 26, the Glock 34, possibly the Glock 20 and 21. We were looking at the SIG M17, but there's a lot of issues, obviously, with the 320 right now, so we're not really sure that's viable. I mean, they still do have a lot of followers. They got a lot of customers that still really love the P320. But there's a lot of issues right now. We talked about it in a live the other day. We had Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. They put out a memo that their agents are no longer to be using the P320. They're switching over to the Glock 19 with MOS. California, a lot of their law enforcement agencies also may be pausing on the P320. And there's multiple lawsuits underway right now. So I'm not entirely sure the P320 is viable, but we have a loose design for it. Jesus, getting another call. One tick. Feel free to ask any questions, talk amongst yourselves. I should be back in about 1 minute. Okay, terribly sorry. That lasted a little longer than I thought it was going to. No, we're not frozen, Patriot Arms. We're good to go. I just had to take a phone call, unfortunately. Yes, it is Cerakote. We use primarily H series, but we also have F series and FX series. The one we do not do is C series because it's an air cure rather than an oven cure. Zolo, no, we don't have G43 yet, but we are working on a G43. I've got a G43 at the shop now, and we do have a loose model. We're hoping after we finish our 17 our next 17, that we will start working on the 43 and have it ready before year's end. I don't want to promise any timelines in case something happens. Like, we promised a timeline once, and then our shop got flooded. So, we did not meet that projected timeline. Gotta love monsoon season. Ah, man, do I wish we had sandbags that year. Oh, getting some fresh coffee. Earlier, and I'm packaging up one more right now, but earlier I was working on packaging up some slides. We're sending stuff out to Montana, Massachusetts, multiple to Indiana. Indiana's ordering a lot. And California. And though we do ship all over the U.S. and the territories, lately we've been getting a lot of orders from New York, California, Texas, Florida, and those are the common ones where we keep getting repeats. But, you know, we're also getting stuff from, like, New Hampshire and Virginia, Illinois, New Mexico, Kansas. We've shipped to every state at this point. And I think the only territories we haven't shipped anything to are American Samoa, where 9mm is not legal, and Northern Mariana Islands. I'm fairly certain we have shipped to the Virgin Islands, and I know for a fact we've shipped to Puerto Rico and Guam. Puerto Rico loves their guns. Hey, Saxon. Actually, that is, it just kind of shows up that way in the light, but it's actually called Habanero Red, and you can see that on our website at stifflermanufacturing.com. But we do have an orange called Hunter Orange. Hunter Orange tends to get, oh my goodness, again? Oh, sorry about that, guys. Had a phone call. That does happen from time to time. While I'm doing these lives, sometimes customers call us. There we go. It just happens. Oh yeah, Puerto Ricans can own guns. Yeah, we ship to them well, I shouldn't say like as often as Texas or New York or California, but they order. There we are. Yeah, if you guys ever see our sound cut out, it's usually because we're taking a phone call. The newest design to come out is our SM17 Turbo, and we are working on the SM17 Helmet, and then after that it'll be the 43. But newest colors are the FX Series Typhoon, which is a blue kind of almost gun candy, and then the Mystique, which is kind of like a gun candy purple. Oh, there we are. You know, we haven't tested the RXM internals on the slides. Primarily, we use Glock OEM and SET Manufacturing. I mean, in theory, it should work, but I've never tested it, so I can't say. Let's see, we got from Patriot Arms earlier, was saying that we should do a giveaway of the Viper in burnt bronze once we hit 1,000 subs. What do you guys think? Which slide would you like? What color? What should we do for a giveaway? Shoot this email off real quick. I mean, if someone has used an RXM with Glock, you know, like swap it with Glock parts or aftermarket, let us know. Because we just don't have a RXM yet. Welcome back, Patriot Arms. Oh, reach out to us at our sales email, Patriot Arms. We might do a collab. We occasionally do collabs. We just need a plan from whoever's doing them. What you're going to do, what kind of content, etc. What you're building. And end call at 0845. There we go. Oh, sorry, 0838. There we are. Can you see what that slide on the far left looks like? Yeah, that is the SM19 Turbo slide. Let me get that up for you. It is good for ported barrels, has front grip serrations, and of course, like all our slides, has a Trijicon RMR flat optic cut. Designed for the Generation 3 Glock 19, we also just started making them for the 17s. Right on, Trace Elton, thank you. Let's see, and did I... Oh, nice, not Denver. Right on. I mean, we do have some that are a little more aggressive that we have temporarily put on hiatus while we will focus on our 17s and the 43. And for those of you that still like, that like this model, you can get it through RB Market on eBay. He buys some of our old slides and discontinued colors. And we'll bring that model back eventually. Just right now it's on hiatus while we focus on the 17s and the 43. We don't do custom porting for the barrels, but we do have ported barrels. We use ELD performance barrels. Most of them are black nitride. And we have them in standard, ported, and threaded. But we're also doing some copper PVD barrels with ELD performance as well. Does what affect the reliability? Yeah, they're made of 17.4 stainless steel. Real good solid steel, stronger than the 416R that a lot of businesses use. We mill them straight out of these bars. Yeah, we do. StifflerManufacturing.com. Right on, Patriot Arms. Okay, where's my key? There it is. Okay, that unfortunately is where I have to end it. I got a call to go out to do some side work, and I got to go to the post office. But I'll try and do another live later today. Talk about some more slides and whatnot. So yeah, check out the website, stifflermanufacturing.com. You can check out all of our slides there. They're all made of 17.4 stainless steel, Trijicon RMR flat optic cuts. We do all our Cerakote work in-house. And as always, thanks for joining us. Thanks for the likes and subs. And stay 2A every day.